Hey, what's up? I want to go through vintage sound emulations in the machine, um, and there's three. There's standard, which of course is basically like standard, no processing, no emulation, just straight, sound I/O. MPC and the SP 1200, and these are one machine used mainly for hip hop, other mainly for house, and in my opinion. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna actively compare them. I'll load three of the same sounds, right, on three separate channels. And what I'll do, I'll go to module, and you'll see engine right here. And what I'm gonna do is this one, standard. I'll leave that standard. This one, I'll go MP60 here, and then SP1200 here. Right. You can't really hear much. It depends on your sound. But if you pitch it down, you can really hear it. So 6, we'll pitch that down. Right? Pitch this down, which is what you should be doing. To get more of a ring to it, it's at a lower bit depth. The SP1200 is. Right? So you have three of the same sound, but they're being processed differently in terms of its emulation of its audio, and it's basically three different eras, I think, because this would be more modern. This is totally clean. The MPC had a clear resolution. I think it was still 12-bit, but it had a higher resolution. And the SP1200 had a lower resolution and a lower bit depth, and they all have a slightly different EQ curve, it seems. Right? It takes away the low end, but it adds, a bit of old schoolness to certain samples. It's really fun to play around with, and I'm a fan of the SP1200 because, well, what they would do, the SP1200 only had 10 seconds of recording time. So they'd use it up pretty quickly. But what they started doing is they would sample from the record. Record regularly plays at like 33 RPM, 33 and a third RPM. They do is they'd sample it at 45, which is a different speed for singles. They'd play it faster and then pitch it up. So they'd record their samples very quickly, right? And then they play it back, and then they pitch it down, and that's why they would kind of have that aliasing sound, and that's kind of where you get your old school kind of sound. So what you can do is take your audio. This is for all machine users. Take your audio from the internet, from a CD, whatever. Drag it into Ableton, double the speed, or make it faster, like chipmunky sound. Freeze it, consolidate it, and then drag it into Maschine again, and then use the SP1200, and you'll have a very nice effect. And that's my tutorial today. Take care.